How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sunday, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. And hey, it's Thursday here on the show. You know what that means? We got a lot to talk about today. Last night was Dynamite. Tonight is Impact, and actually, this show is available free. They're streaming the show free on YouTube, as well as TNA Plus. So we'll tell you about that. And we've got a bunch of other news as well, including best wishes to Jaka. We'll talk about this after the break. Currently battling for his life after suffering a heart attack. He's a former Evolve wrestler. We'll tell you about that. Plus, we got an update on John Cena and his future, which is certainly changing. We have got an update on the AEW September to Remember show, Taz's induction into the Hardcore Hall of Fame. As noted, the Dynamite report from last night. And Dynamite was a good show, a lot of good wrestling, but we still have a lot of questions about what the card for All Out is going to be. Because at this point, I think we got 3 matches announced for the show. And there seemed to be some directions last night, but still a lot of questions about what's the world title match going to be, and, you know, a lot of big matches. They need some big matches for that show, and it's not that far away. It's September 4th today. September 20th is the show, so we'll talk about all of that. And in the final segment of the show, we'll be joined by Ian Douglas, author of a decided novelty. I love that title. We're going to be talking about The Essential Guide to Black Pro Wrestling History, 1880 to 1950. That's the final segment of the show. Filthy Tom joins us after the break. Back in a moment, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Granny, what have you got today?
Okay, everybody be quiet, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Google, tell us a joke.
What's the most musical part of a turkey? The drumsticks.
Ba-da-cha.
Hey, Google, you suck.
Well, I am still learning. What should we fix?
The guilt in the response.
Hey, Google, that's enough. Hey, Google.
Shut your hole.
Hey, Google.
Hi there, I'm listening.
Oh,
How
jeez.
can I help today?
Hey, Google. Shut up.
How can I be of service?
No, that won't quit.
God.
Hey, Google. No more. Stop.
This is how the war with the robots begins.
Name the hip-hop group that asked the question, are you down with OPP in 1992?
Granny, I will pay you $100 to read that again, please.
Yeah, can you read more?
Name the hip-hop group that asked the question, are you down with O period, P period, P period in 1992?
You somehow made it better. O period. P
Stop the show
period.
now. We have peaked.
P period.
Please send those edits to Brian's email.
Are you down with O period, P period, P period? On the show The Big Bang Theory, Leonard and Sheldon are both physicists. What is that? At what?
What the hell just happened right there?
Physicists?
Yes.
Physicists?
Yes.
Yeah. I lost my track.
You lost your crack.
You were at Sisyphus.
In what city was Nipar
Brooks.
Shakur shot and killed?
Excuse me, say that again.
In what city was Tupac?
Two-pack. Vegas.
Sure.
Vegas Strip.
Yep.
Join us!
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, we got a trip to the Vegas Strip, by
Yeah.
the way.
You can get shot too.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, Google, take a nap. Hey, Google, wake up. Hey, Google, are you awake?
Here's a YouTube music station called Are You Awake?
Hey, Google, stop!
Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Filthy Tom is joining us here today. And I want to start off by offering best wishes to Jaka Jonathan Echevarria. He's a former Evolve wrestler. His family announced Thursday he is currently in an intensive care unit, critical condition. He's got a GoFundMe up, which has raised over $13,000 so far. His family writes he is currently in the ICU after suffering a heart attack, remains in critical condition. Our family is holding tightly to faith, praying for his complete healing and full restoration. He's the kind of person who brings laughter and energy wherever he goes. Fun, lovable, pain in the butt, who means the world to us. Seeing him in this state has been incredibly difficult. We are staying strong for him and for each other. Tony Khan donated $5,000. He did one match for AEW Dark Evolution. Did a match for WWE WrestleMania Access in 2018. And he was a former Evolve Tag Champ with Chris Dickinson. So all the best to him. Don't really have any other details. But I'll put a link up to the GoFundMe here in a little while. But hopefully everything turns out all right. So, did you ever meet him?
Yeah, best wishes to Jaka. Yeah, I've been on shows with him in the past. If I remember correctly, it was he, Dickinson, Santana, and Ortiz were a crew. It might have been EYFBO, something along those lines. But they were pretty hot on the independent scene for a while, and terrible to hear. But hopefully he'll make a full recovery from this.
How's your hip doing?
I mean, all things considered, not too bad, I guess. Recovery is slow because it's supposed to be.
Well, of course, but I mean, are you moving a little better? How do you feel when you move around?
I couldn't have been moving any worse.
Well, I know. So how you feel now as you move around?
Well, it's better, but I mean, I've got my left leg atrophied quite a bit.
Yeah.
So that leg has to get back up to par, which is,
is that what you doing your rehab? Or are you trying to, or is it just learning to walk first?
Well, I haven't even gotten to that point because I have the walker.
Yeah.
So I should be off of the walker tomorrow.
Really?
Actually, yeah.
Well, that's good.
I have PT in the morning, and then I will not be here on this show because I will be at the doctor's for a follow-up.
Can't you do it from there via phone? No? Okay.
I don't want to.
What do we have coming up today for the third day of the back-to-school book report week? Is that what we're calling it? Book
reading.
What's it called?
Reading week.
Reading week?
Yeah. Well, today we have the author of A Decided Novelty, which is Ian Douglas, who has been on Wrestling Observer shows before. He's written many a book. A Bohemian Rhapsody is another one which I have read. Rough Rufus and Gentleman Jack, another book. Kind of, I guess you could say, a more in-depth look at some of the wrestlers that he touched on in A Decided Novelty, which is the essential guide to black pro wrestling history from 1880 to 1950. I'm looking at the book trying to get it right because I butchered Carl Stern's omnibus book, the name of it, about 500 times. So.
This is the book, everybody.
Yeah, I've got it on my bookshelf.
There we go.
As well. But I've read the entire thing, unlike you.
How dare you? I've got my bookmark in it right now. I haven't finished the entire thing, but it's in there.
600 pages.
You should see these bookmarks. My kids made them. Have fun, it says. She demanded I laminate these.
Well, I had fun reading that book.
It is actually, it's pretty fun. I got some questions here, but I'll let you largely run the interview. But I got some questions. Yeah,
sure. Just like you. Just
how dare you?
On Monday
or
Tuesday,
dare
you hijacked it. I had so many questions to ask Carl Stern.
I hijacked it.
I'll never get a chance to do.
I gotta jump in for you when you just freeze sometimes. Okay, John Cena is on SmackDown tomorrow. WrestleVotes is saying it could be his final SmackDown appearance. And I can confirm that John Cena, for whatever it's worth, is now considered a Raw talent. So I can't say this is his final SmackDown appearance ever. It very well could be, but he is now going to be a Raw talent. So he only has 8 days left. The SmackDown this coming Friday, Raw on the 15th, the WrestlePalooza show, the Crown Jewel show, Survivor Series, Saturday night's main event, and then only 2 other shows. Which is like, he's got WrestlePalooza. I presume he's wrestling Crown Jewel. I presume he's wrestling Survivor Series. And obviously he's wrestling his final match. But he only has 2 dates left to promote 4 matches. So you're telling me that whatever he's doing at Crown Jewel, like he's not going to appear on TV to promote whoever his opponent is?
They should promote a last SmackDown appearance for John Cena if that's what they're going to do.
It could be. But, I mean, there are 2 to be determined, so maybe they will do a final SmackDown and a final Raw. But it is just kind of like, I presume they could
What about main event?
It's bizarre. Do you know, I presume that they've got it figured out now. But like 3-4 months ago, when they were like counting down, I got 38 dates left. I got 36. I figured at the beginning of the year, they like went through and like tracked the entire year. And apparently that didn't happen. Like, there was a point 3-4 months ago where they were just going through dates and they didn't have the whole end of the year figured out. And now here we are. He's got probably 4 matches left, but only 2 TV dates to promote those matches. So, I guess we'll see what happens. I guess they could pay him to, like, make appearances or whatever, extra appearances, but that seems to be it. If you're a fan of Impact, tonight's live edition of the show is in Minneapolis. It's being sponsored by The Naked Gun, and it is going to be airing live, free, on both YouTube and TNA Plus. So you can watch the show for free on YouTube today. It's got an Ash by Elegance Knockouts World Championship celebration, Indy Hartwell, Jody Threat, and Danny Luna in a number 1 contenders match. Matt Cardona versus Frankie Kazarian. Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, and Mara Sade against John Schuyler, Jason Hotch, and Tasha Steeles. Nick Nemeth appears, and we will hear from Joe Hendry. So that is the lineup. What's that face for?
That card sounds like it was booked by Lorenzo Fertitta, if you ask me.
Why is that?
I was just making a joke.
But what's the funny part?
Well, whatever happened to those rumblings about Lorenzo Fertitta buying TNA? What happened to the rumblings about the new TV deal?
That rumbling was so brief that I totally forgot that was even a rumor. Oh, they'll get TV. I don't know about Lorenzo Fertitta. I would think that TV deal's coming soon.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Are they going to make an announcement tonight?
I guess they could. It's possible.
Put it out there for free.
It's possible. Yeah, the big rumor is going to the CW. And there have been conflicting rumors about whether or not it would be on Wednesday. I think it should be on Thursday, if we're being honest. I'm about sick of head-to-head battles. It's the last thing I need more of right now. September to Remember is the AEW show September 17th. It is going to be a 3-hour show on Wednesday the 17th. And they are going to be branding it September to Remember. Obviously based off November to Remember. It is going to be a 2-hour block of Dynamite and a 1-hour Collision back to back, which is always kind of funny. You ever seen one of these back to back shows they've done with Dynamite and Collision?
Yeah.
Do you watch Dynamite and Collision?
Generally.
Okay, so like Dynamite's
Sometimes.
a certain type of show and Collision is another type of show, which is like a B level, C level show. When they do these 3-hour shows, it's like I guess they're contracted to X numbers of collisions. But it's like, you would think a 3-hour Dynamite would be preferable to 2 hours of Dynamite, and then they go to the C show for the 3rd hour. It's bizarre. But anyway, back in a moment. Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful.
Happy birthday, dear Granny.
Happy birthday, Granny. Happy 95th birthday.
Thank you.
You got balloons behind you as well, Vinny. People can't really see them.
No.
They think it might just be your hump. But it's a very festive
I
day
should not
today.
laugh at that. That's a horrible insult that you just gave
Yeah,
me.
you laughed. It was a good one.
But it was funny.
Happy birthday!
Okay.
Happy birthday, Granny!
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, you guys, I don't even know what you just said. Okay, go.
Bye, girls. Close the door, please. Rob Wanska, a top fan. That Granny is one of a kind. If you cannot see that, you're blind. Whether she's knitting a quilt or giving Brian some guilt, she's the greatest old gal that you'll find.
Was that, who was that?
Producer
That was
Rob.
Rob.
Producer Rob?
Yeah.
Fine
like
job,
that.
Rob.
He has talent?
Thank you,
For him.
Rob.
Wow.
This is Mariah May versus Anna J. Anna has a problem. Her top seems to want to drop down. She has to keep pulling it up. Mariah pins Anna for the win. I think Anna just gave up due to the fact that her wardrobe was malfunctioned.
That's what happened?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, if they wore decent clothes, it'd be better. Those T-straps are ridiculous.
Those what?
T-straps. Don't you know what a T-strap is?
No, I do not know what a T-strap
I don't think
is.
there's a T-strap in Brian's closet, Granny.
No.
I don't know.
T-strap. Oh, a thong? Why don't you say a thong?
A what?
Never mind. You don't know what a thong is?
No.
Why are we having this conversation?
What part of the body is it on?
Does it go on the
woman.
top or the bottom?
On your
Butt?
butt. Yep.
Okay.
Granny had to be very careful. So it's a thong.
Why are we having this conversation?
According to the Old Testament of the Bible, who is the father of both Isaac and Ishmael?
Job.
Abraham.
Wrong.
Oh, really?
Abraham.
I just.
Did you say that?
Yes, he
I'm so-
did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're right.
Yeah.
I just didn't hear you.
Well, Granny, I hope you had a happy birthday today.
I had to.
Hey, we got a special present for you. You are officially being inducted, yes, into the Hall of Awesome.
It's about time.
Yes. You know what that is,
Oh,
Granny?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I want everybody to see this. How can I show it?
Clearly, Granny is really excited about being inducted into the Hall of Awesome. She's busy showing off her trophy.
Is that an old gray mare trophy?
It's got a horse on it for some reason. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Filthy Tom Lawler is joining us here today. What'd you think of Dynamite, Tom?
I didn't watch it.
Did you really not watch it?
I didn't watch it.
Thanks for doing the show today, brother.
I was too busy
Appreciate it. Yeah.
rehabbing.
Were you really?
I did some rehab yesterday. Yeah.
All right. Well, should I just mute your channel, or what should we do here?
No. I'm sure I'll have something to say.
All right.
I mean, Gabe Kidd almost got murdered.
How do you know?
I have the internet.
I opened up with a Gabe Kidd promo. I thought this was a pretty good show, but it was like, you know, lots of great wrestling. I thought the build for the pay-per-view was very lackluster, because, like, when it was over, literally the only thing I learned about the pay-per-view that I didn't know going in when it was over was that Riho is probably getting a title shot, and Kenny Omega isn't on the show. That's about all I learned. No idea who Hangman's going to wrestle at the pay-per-view. Could be Kyle Fletcher. I know some people watched and thought it was going to be a tag match, but we don't know. And we got, only a couple of weeks left. So there was a Gabe Kidd segment where he challenges Darby Allin. Darby comes out with his skateboard covered in tacks, attacks the guy. And then we have Wheeler Yuta, Moxley, Marina, Claudio, The Ops, Hook, Willow, all coming out for this wild, 9-minute brawl. And they don't send out one security person. There's no match. It's just people trying to kill each other. And then backstage, Gabe tries to kill Darby with a hammer. And no security. And then Darby goes to escape. And he throws powder in Gabe's eyes, ether-soaked rag, puts him in a body bag, drags him off into the night. I was like, where's security, bro? It'd be one thing if, the whole show, it was like the ECW arena, so there's no security for anything. But they had an FTR segment, and, Adam Copeland and Christian got into a brawl with them, and they had security out there in 10 seconds. Separated these 4 guys.
What happened to Atlas Security?
I don't know, man.
In the ECW arena.
I think security just showed up late, but it was never explained.
Well, we've seen the precedent set that if you make the point to threaten someone's life, security will not intervene. Right? We had MJF, Ricochet, the Gates of Agony. They were going to kill.
What kind of security detail
Mark
is this?
Briscoe. And they got away with it. Then we have this, Darby Allin almost killing Gabe Kidd. They're nowhere to be found.
We had Mercedes and Alex Windsor for the TNT title.
Yeah. Maybe security's not getting their fair wage from the union.
So this was a good match and a clean finish. Windsor went for the sharpshooter. Mercedes booted her off, cradled her, and pinned her. And I was a gigantic advocate for this finish because Mercedes has 9 belts. She's supposed to be the best in the world. She should be winning clean, even if she's a heel. And then Alex offered a handshake. Mercedes flips her off. So Alex attacked her, and Mercedes beat her down. Sucked for Alex. And then Riho's music hit, and she's back for her annual 1-month AEW stint, getting a title shot probably against Mercedes at All In. Actually, that's announced. So that was good. Had an Ops promo. Hook and the Ops are at odds. Hook is angry. They just replaced him. And Samoa Joe's like, we're called the Ops, dude. There was an opportunity. We took it. You weren't around. And so he says,
it's the opportunists?
Well, just, ops can mean many things.
Operatives?
Optometrists, opportunists, But anyway, they say you're going to need some
Oppenheimer lovers.
You're going to need some help someday. We'll have your back. Had a Gates of Agony and Ricochet promo. They challenged the Hurt Business, all 3 of them, to a match at All Out. Then we had a Mark Briscoe promo. He wants Fletcher in the TNT title. He knows he has to go through a member of the Don Callis family. He wants to do it. So Callis comes out and goes, all right, fine. You can have a match with, what's his name? Takeshita. But it'll be Saturday. Mark Briscoe goes, I don't want to wait till Saturday. I want somebody right now. So Callis offers Lance Archer. Mark Briscoe obviously beat him. Sunset Flip Powerbomb, Froggy Elbow. It's pretty short by AEW standards. But Briscoe gets a win, and he's heading into the match with Takeshita this coming weekend. Yeah. We had a Harley and Statlander interview, and up walks old Wheeler, who is hated.
Brian.
He says, I just want you to know the Death Riders have your back. What's up?
Are they going to have Mark Briscoe beat the G1 winner?
I do not
Collision?
know. I have various theories about what they're going to do here.
Okada inadvertently.
I think Okada is going to cost Takeshita the match. We're going to get Okada and Takeshita at the pay-per-view.
Already?
Yeah. Dude, if you've been watching this show...
I saw their interactions, but I mean...
But they've had an interaction on every TV. Like, every single one for the last, 3 shows. It was last week, it was Collision, and it was this show. Like, it looks like they're fast-tracking this one. So, I think they're going to do that. And then, I think, Briscoe and Fletcher. Yeah, we'll have to figure this out. But I think that's what's going to happen this weekend. What?
Okada couldn't be bothered to put over one guy from New Japan, but now he's going to have to put over Takeshita.
It probably will, would be my guess. Brodito, Claudio, and Wheeler. This was an unannounced tag team title match. We did the show yesterday, and this match wasn't announced. But, and I don't know why they couldn't announce it. It's a big match. It's for the tag team titles. Nobody was hurt going in, but it had to be a secret. So, like, they start doing this match, and I was like, what? There's a tag team title match on this show? Yep. And it was really good, and ended up with Moxley trying to get involved. Darby choked him out. Brody killed the heels. Bandito hit the 21 plex on Wheeler, got the pin. Very good match. This was when, as he described himself in an interview on Wrestling Observer Radio, Kazuchika Okada did an interview, and he said that as far as Takashita is concerned, I am the top member in the Don Callis family. So that was interesting. Maybe everybody can yell at him that he's pronouncing all these names wrong. Hurt Business did a promo, accepted the challenge.
Oh, he was trained in Mexico.
We had the Copeland FTR attack, which was immediately broken up by all of these security guys, and also by Adam Priest. And afterwards, FTR screaming at him in the back. They told him to get a partner for the show on Saturday. And let me tell you guys, this Adam Priest, he's really good. He's really good. And the funny thing is, like, you watch him work, and he looks like a guy who's been doing this forever. And he debuted in 2017. So, you know how many times we've been watching, like, the NXT show, and we see these people, it's like, you know, that person's been wrestling since 2017, and people are like, no, they haven't. And it's like, yeah, they actually have. This guy has only been wrestling since 2017, and he is awesome. So I'm very excited for this weekend.
Well, probably has 5 times the matches the people in NXT have.
Yeah, he works all over the place all the time, and he's great. So then we had the Young Bucks, Fletcher, and Josh Alexander versus Jet Speed, Kenny Omega, and the Hangman. This was, no joke, a pay-per-view caliber main event. It was like 23 minutes. It was absolutely awesome. They had so many incredible spots in this match. And if you're one of those guys that doesn't like matches like that, don't bother watching, because you ain't going to like it. There was like no heat. It was just, you know, we're just going to do moves for 23 minutes. But it was incredible. And at the end, the Bucks hit an assisted Indy Taker on Kevin Knight. Fletcher hit the Brainbuster and pinned him. And then afterwards, the heels beat down the baby faces. And Kenny Omega tries to make a comeback, but Fletcher hits him in the diverticulitis with the chair. And then he gives him the big Brainbuster off the apron through the table. And, dude, this guy just sliced his back, sliced and diced. Vegematic is back. He's bleeding everywhere. Meanwhile, Kenny Omega's fine, but they sold it like his neck was broken. And so he was putting a neck brace, carted off. He'll be out for a while. Apparently he's fine. It's not like an injury or anything like that. But he's out for a little while. So no Kenny Omega at All Out, which really begs the question, what's the rest of this card? Right now we got 3 matches, which is Christian and Copeland versus FTR, Mercedes against Riho for the TBS title, and Hurt Syndicate versus Ricochet and Gates of Agony. So I presume
you're going to have some sort of match with the Triangle of Madness.
Yeah, they'll probably be on the show.
In there, probably something with Statlander and Willow if they're not involved in that match. At least on the 0 hour. Where's Ishii? Where's Hologram and Clone?
Oh, they'll be on Collision. Don't worry. Person goes, if Kenny isn't legit hurt, why is he skipping All Out? He's just got time off. Don't bring it up with me. And they also announced that Tommy Billington is going to be Adam Priest's tag team partner. This person wants to know if they're going to do Hangman and Briscoe versus MJF and Fletcher. I cannot imagine them on this weekend with this show putting the world champion in just a tag match. I mean, I think he's got to defend the title against somebody. So, well, we shall see. MJF and Briscoe is probably going to be on the show. Hopefully with my stip. Back in a moment with Ian Douglas, Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. ChatGPT Smackdown review starring Filthy Tom and Bryan Alvarez.
Welcome back, you miserable wretches, to another disaster of an episode of Figure 4 Daily, the only show on the internet that's guaranteed to make your brain rot faster than watching one of these Smackdown episodes. I'm your host, Filthy Tom Lawler, joined by the man who somehow manages to be more useless than a rubber knife in a prison fight, Bryan Alvarez. What's up, Bryan?
Let's not pretend you're the shining star of this operation. You're like a broken pencil. Pointless. And I don't even know I'm still here with you. Anyway, let's get to this train wreck of a Smackdown. Spoiler alert, if you were expecting a wrestling show, you've come to the wrong place. It was like watching someone fall asleep in real time.
You should know all about falling asleep, Bryan, since you've been half dead for years now. If enthusiasm was an Olympic sport, you would get a participation medal for showing up, but still lose.
I could tell the crowd was hyped for Drew, and Nakamura's music is always a banger, but it was just nothing. It's like watching a 5-minute commercial for a product you don't even want to buy.
And I bet the only thing that was more uninspiring than this match was your entire existence. Let's move on before I fall asleep right here on this microphone.
Tom, you think because you're a former fighter, that makes you a wrestling expert? You'd probably lose in a match with a traffic cone. Look, Jade's a star, but Liv Morgan, she's the human version of a please wait screen.
Liv Morgan is about as useful as a sandbag at a swimming pool party, who's like trying to make a turkey sandwich with no bread.
It's like the crowd went from yay to who's got the remote. Can we change the channel?
Liv Morgan's biggest move is making the audience wish for better things. She's like the human version of a wet sock. Nobody wants it.
I get it, Tom. You don't like fun. You don't like energy. You don't like anything that's not just sitting on your couch in your pajamas complaining.
More of the same.
Oh, we're back to more of the same, huh? Just like your wrestling career. More of the same, but somehow still a disaster.
Well, that's it, folks. SmackDown 2025 was more like SmackDown 2005. Same old stuff, same old disappointments. Join us next time when we tear apart something else for your listening pleasure.
Yeah, next time, Tom, maybe you'll actually have some real wrestling to talk about instead of whatever disaster this was. Until then, just remember, don't listen to Tom and don't watch SmackDown unless you hate yourself.
Whatever. It's your funeral.
What? I've never been so embarrassed doing this show as I was for the last 5 minutes. God. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Filthy Tom Lawler. Very happy today to be joined by Ian Douglas, the author of A Decided Novelty, the essential history of Black Pro Wrestling, 1880 to 1950. I love the title of this book, Ian. How you doing?
Doing wonderfully, Bryan. Thanks so much for having me. Glad you like the title.
Yeah, I used to write that. Well, I shouldn't say I used to write it. There used to be something called the Frank A. Gotch Flying Mare Wrestling Newsletter, and I love old-timey newspapers and old-timey talk. And the title of this book is basically, I guess there was a newspaper like in the late 1800s that was mentioning that there weren't like a lot of black wrestlers, and how a card consisting entirely of black wrestlers would be a decided novelty. Isn't that where the title came from?
Close. It was the early 1900s. It was an editorial circulating throughout the northeastern United States, and it was simply a match. you couldn't get a single match between two skilled black wrestlers at the time.
I see. A match.
So that's what the writer of the editorial was pining for, just a match between two skilled black wrestlers. And he was still, at the time he wrote that, he was still about 30 years away from that becoming a reality.
My God.
Yeah, so Ian, we've spoken a little bit off the air about this because
hey, Tom.
Hey, how's it going? Because I started reading this. I started reading this book. It's 600 pages, so quite research heavy, quite an undertaking. But I'd also like to bring up, before we kind of get into a decided novelty, the fact that this comes along kind of with another book, the Gentleman Jack and Rough Rufus book. So could you kind of touch on the relationship between those two?
Yeah, sure. Well, the relationship between the two is I sort of had to write them in tandem or in parallel. The idea was that anyone who was writing about black pro wrestling from this era in question, 1880 to 1950, they were just sort of guessing. They would discover a new fact about somebody and say, oh, they must be the first one to do this. Or then someone would find an anecdote from 1934 and, oh, well, I guess he was the first one to do it. And as someone who is black and who cares about the subject matter, that just sort of got annoying. But I also realized how difficult it would be to come along and write a biography of somebody like Bearcat Wright or Bobo Brazil without knowing about everything that transpired before. So in order to write the Gentleman Jack Rough Rufus book, this is Gentleman Jack Claiborne and Joseph Alvin Godfrey, the original Rufus Jones, I realized I sort of needed my own reference guide before I started crediting with these guys with being the first to do anything. And so as I'm writing that book, I'm also writing a decided novelty. And again, it was sort of to prove the point that in order to write these books that a lot of people claim they want, you really need to know the full history. And now hopefully going forward, some wrestling historians will read a decided novelty, get all of their facts in line and in order, and then they can go forth and write biographies on some of these other figures with confidence.
Yeah, so it's kind of similar. I mean, you would say it's kind of like a reference material in a lot of ways, a decided novelty, which to me it was very similar to Carl Stern's book, who we had on Tuesday, the Pro Wrestling Omnibus, in that, you know, they're very research heavy. There's a lot of stories around them, but they also are kind of set to inspire people to do more research on their own.
Oh, absolutely. You've got this dearth, this paucity of information, not just about black pro wrestling during that period, but about wrestling in general. And again, I mentioned Bobo Brazil, I mentioned Bearcat Wright. Sort of to prove the point, when this book got announced, I think Big E posted about it, and someone immediately went underneath and posted an image of Bearcat Wright. Well, Bearcat Wright isn't even mentioned in the book. His father is, because his father cornered Celie Samara in Omaha back in the 1940s. Bearcat Wright's father was a boxer who also went by the name of Bearcat Wright. But without having this reference material, I mean, people know the names of Bearcat Wright, they know Bobo Brazil, but you can't go and write with confidence about these guys or Luther Lindsay or the second Reginald Siki, Sweet Daddy Siki later on. You really can't write about them without knowing the full story of what transpired before. And I do hope that a decided novelty inspires other wrestling historians to take up the mantle and continue to tell those stories.
Now, did you choose in advance that 1950 was going to be your cutoff? Or in writing it, did you kind of, as you were going on, conclude, 1880 to 1950 is probably a good... And are you planning to do a 1950 through today?
I don't think I'm going. I'll answer that back to front. I don't think I'm planning to do a 1950 until today. because quite frankly, this one was a whole lot of work. I would love for someone else to write that book, but as far as the subject matter here is concerned, I think that's it for me. 1880 to 1950 seemed to be a great time period because it's really the heart of the pre-civil rights era. And once you get to the 1950s, the momentum is already going. You get into Bobo Brazil becoming a legitimate star that everybody knows about. This was more about unearthing those hidden figures, diving into guys like Don Blackman and what he accomplished with Don Kindred, crossing the Mason-Dixon line, first going into Virginia, then Don Blackman getting a crew around him with Buddy Jackson, Alex Kaffner, and Frank James, and going into the Deep South with his all-Negro wrestling tour, and then later on, Don Blackman and Buddy Jackson being invited to the Mid-Atlantic by the original Jim Crockett, and they become the first traveling pair to not only do Virginia, which Blackman had done with Kindred before, but also going into North Carolina and South Carolina, sort of the traditional Mid-Atlantic territories that the Crockett's became famous for. So this was an opportunity to delve into all of that, really get to the bottom of who were the first guys to accomplish certain things. And once you're into the 1950s, then it's really all about which guys became the first truly national or mainstream stars as black wrestlers.
Yeah, I mean, Ian, if we can back up even before the time of Don Blackman and those wrestlers, you, I believe, kind of uncovered the story of Clarence Bolden being a massive trendsetter in the world of professional wrestling.
This is an incredible story because it is a black man who first tried to pass as white and then later Cuban.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Clarence. And by the way, his family, this has been one of the best things to come out of this, is his family members have reached out to me and said, thank you so much for casting the spotlight on him. Yeah, Clarence, you've got rumors in the newspapers as he's sort of gearing up to win the light heavyweight championship in 1905 or 1906. You've got the rumors that, he's a full-blooded Negro. Well, obviously he's not a full-blooded Negro, or they would have figured that out a little bit earlier. But I sort of traced the breadcrumbs. I pulled up the census records, and there he is in 1900, listed as Negro, living with his wife, listed as Negro, and his mother-in-law and brother-in-law, both listed as Negro, in Kansas City. You pull up his marriage record. He's married to his black wife. Legally, at the time, they would not have permitted him to marry a black woman if he wasn't black in Missouri at the time. So then, all of a sudden, he's showing up in Cleveland, and yes, first he's identified as white, and when that doesn't fly, he starts going by the Cuban Wonder, and he's the Cuban Wonder for the remainder of his wrestling career, and really for the remainder of his life. But in the process, he wins a world middleweight championship. He wins a world light heavyweight championship. Frank Gotch, for all intents and purposes, is saying that Bolden is the best pound-for-pound wrestler in the world. And for the most part, nobody is aware that legally, in almost every state in the union, they're looking at a black man.
It's unbelievable when you hear a story like that or you read it in print. One of the things that was hardest for me reading this book, and we talked about it, Ian, was, and you touched on it earlier, right, is the fact you're talking about Reginald Seekey, Sweet Daddy Seekey, there's the Black Panther, there's King Kongs, there's all these guys using very similar monikers, right? And you are going back and having to do the research, having to pour through the newspaper articles, having to, decipher sometimes what is even being said just because of the way that they're written. They would write a certain way in the Deep South. They would capture the way that some of the wrestlers would speak in a manner which I can't even decipher nowadays. So can you talk about like how hard of an endeavor just that is, how much time you had to spend even going through that in order to get the names right?
Well, I was talking with Dave. I was talking with Dave Meltzer about this a few months ago. The fact that in a lot of these cases, in a lot of the guys' cases, 500 to 1,000 words. That's all. Like guys like Ray Richmond. That's all there was on the entirety of their career. But for the most part, we were doing 5, 10, 15, 20,000 word summaries on guys' careers. That's what I was writing up. And then I was dividing it up by year and figuring the best way to drop it in, figuring out where the stories overlap to try to make the transitions as natural as possible. And yeah, it was quite an endeavor. It took a very long time. I got started on this, when was my son born? April of 2023. So I got started on this in May of 2023, and here we are at publication in early July of this year. So it was a project that took a ton of time. I know my wife wasn't thrilled with me all the time, which reminds me of Brian's story about being in Hawaii and working on a book and having to
deadline.
apologize profusely to his wife.
Yes.
For sucking up vacation time. Well, this was a similar situation, except I was sucking up 2 years worth of her time.
I'm mostly astonished you decided to start writing a book a month after a child was born. That's crazier than any story in the book.
Well, yeah, and dumber than any story in the book too, and probably one of the dumbest things I've ever done. But once you get started, you got to see it through to the end. So thankfully, it's done, and now I can move on to some other things with less pressure on myself. Because as I've told some,
well, actually, hold that thought right there because we got to head to a commercial. Back in a moment, we'll plug the book, where you can grab it, and more. Wrestling Observer Live. If you love this show, you should consider signing up at WrestlingObserver.com. WrestlingObserver.com has every show that we have ever done, over 15,000 podcasts in the archives, dating back to 2005. Searchable by show, searchable by year. Perhaps the first show you ever watched was 2008 WrestleMania? Well, you can head into the archives and you can find the podcast we did, all built around the 2008 WrestleMania. Every major show, whether it be WWE, AEW, we covered it all. 15,000 archived shows at WrestlingObserver.com. Also, when you subscribe, you get full access to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. There's a new Observer every Friday. And on top of that, we have thousands and thousands of archived issues of the Observer dating back to 1991. So again, WrestleMania 2008. Go to the archives, search WrestleMania 2008, read all of the issues surrounding that show. Of course, Wrestling Observer newsletter, 40,000 words of news and information on pro wrestling and mixed martial arts every single week. New issue comes out every Friday. New back issue comes out every Monday. You also get the discussion board, one of the best discussion boards on the internet. It's members only. If you're going to troll, well, you got to pay to troll, and there aren't too many of those. And if you cause too much trouble, you're out of there. So if you want a great place to discuss professional wrestling, it is the board. Also available as a subscriber at WrestlingObserver.com. The whole package, all of the new shows, all of the archived shows, all of the new issues of The Observer, all of the archived editions of the newsletter, all of the past episodes of Wrestling Observer Radio, Wrestling Observer Live, The Bryan and Vinny Show, Figure Four Daily, Filthy Four Daily, The Board, all of it, just $14.99 per month. The full shebang, and you can save a lot of money getting an annual subscription. a full year, you basically get 2 months free. So check it out, WrestlingObserver.com, everything you'll ever need as a fan of professional wrestling. Check it out today, F4WOnline.com. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Filthy Tom is joining us. Ian Douglas, the author of A Decided Novelty, The Essential Guide to Black Pro Wrestling History, 1880 to 1950. I got a link up on my Twitter right now. We'll have it on the front page as well. And Ian, let's get some quick plugs in. How can people find the book?
Oh, easiest thing in the world. It is available on Amazon.com. You can go there right now, grab A Decided Novelty, and any of my other 8 books. They're all there.
8 books, dude. 8 books.
Well,
I've
the
also-
other 8. It's 9 total.
Yeah. I've read Bohemian Rhapsody. I can recommend that as well. I'll get started on Gentleman Jack and Rough Rufus. I loved this book, A Decided Novelty. Much like Carl Stern's book, I learned so much, Ian. Thank you for writing it.
You're absolutely welcome, and it's one of those things where I didn't know anything about the subject matter myself, so I had to dive in there, pull it all out, and now I know it, and I'm happy to share it with everybody else.
Well, it's an excellent book, A Decided Novelty, The Essential Guide to Black Pro Wrestling History, 1880 to 1950. This book and all the other 8 books up on Amazon.com, so you can head up there and check those out. And Ian, we shall do this again. Thank you so much for doing the show today.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. Love your program. You're the best.
We really appreciate it. And we're going to wrap it up for today. Tomorrow's going to be Fun Friday, everybody. You can check that out. And Bryan and Vinny's show tonight, Observer Radio last night, lots of stuff to check out. And that's it. We'll talk to you next time, Wrestling Observer Live.